combine our augmented matrices knowledge and our elementary row operations together so that we can get to row echelon form. In your homework, if you had something in row echelon form or reduced row echelon form, you were able to figure out what X, Y, and Z are, correct? Okay. So, our goal is to get this to row echelon form. So basically, we want ones on the diagonal and zeros below those ones. Okay? So I want these to be ones and I want these to be zeros. Now remember, we can switch where rows are, we can multiply, we can add rows together. Okay? So, oh, we should put the third row up here on the first row because it begins in a 1. I like it. So I'm going to say I'm switching row 1 with row 3 to get 1, -2, 3. It's going to take some creativity. If you like puzzles, you'll like this. Okay? All right. Now, remember we want a diagonal of 1s and these to be zeros. Okay, if I add row 1 with row 2, I'll have my first entry will be a 0. Do you agree? Okay, so I'm going to put this right here because I'm replacing row 2 with this. So if I add row 1 and row 2, we get 0, 1, 3, what? I don't know what your question is.
The second row. Oh,
That's a 0. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Subtract row 1 and row 2.
Since you already changed row 2, could you still go back and use the other row 2 for like the extra stuff?
We always want to work with our new matrix. Okay. Now we need this to be a 0, don't we? Okay. We can multiply row 1 by -2 and add it to row 3. Right? So -2 times row 1 plus row 3. And what does that get me for row 3? 0, -1. No. Yeah, because -2 times -2 is 4, plus -5 is -1. -1 again. And then? And then -1 again. Okay, we're almost there, right?
Almost.
We need a seat belt of 1s. And then underneath the 1s, we need 0s. So underneath this 1, I need a 0.
Add those 2 rows.
Okay. If we add row 2 and row 3, that will become a 0, won't it?
I think so.
So if I add row 2 and row 3, we get 0, 0, 2, 4.
And multiply by half.
Okay. We have our 2 zeros, but we need this first non-zero entry to be a 1. This is easy because all we have to do is say row 3, cut it in half. Okay, so here we have
Oh, there it goes.
okay, row echelon form. Now once we have this in row echelon form, remember an augmented matrix represents a system of equations. What's Z? 2. Then we know y plus 3z is 5. We can find y. We know x minus 2y plus 3z is 9. We can find x. Okay, but I'm not going to go through that because I'm fully confident from here you can figure out the solution, right?
Yes.
You want me to go through it?
Yeah, I solve it because I'm really wondering if I'm right.
Okay.
To know what X is.
We know z is 2. We know y plus 3z is 5. So what did you say y was?
It's X.
So the solution to the system is 1, negative 1, 2. Okay? Good job, Carl. All right. Let's do another one. Well, this one's better.
Oh, yay! Yes.
Because there's only 2 variables instead of 3.
Yay! Oh.
What? You'll only have 2 ones instead of 3. Okay? So first of all, let's write the augmented matrix. We have 2, 6, 16. Okay, first of all, you're not writing your variables. You're not writing x and y. And everything is contained in just one matrix. Okay, everything's just all together. Really, the process isn't much different. Okay, because if you were to do elimination, what would you do? You multiply one of them by negative 1 and add them together, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we're going to need to do to get a 0 here. Do you agree? Okay. If I take negative 1 times row 1 and add it to row 2, we would get what? Zero, negative 3, negative 9. Okay? And at this point, I'm going to do 2 things at once. Alright? I'm going to say we can cut row 1 in half to get our 1, 3, 8. And then I could cut, well, I could times row 2 by what? Negative 1/3. Divide by negative 3. To get 0, 1, 3. Okay? Basically the same thing that you would have done with an equation. Alright? Yes. I want row echelon form. If you're solving these, I want row echelon form. Okay? Technically, yes, you can solve it from there, but dividing by 2 and dividing by 3 is what you would have to do anyway. Okay? Now this is row echelon form. What is reduced row echelon form? What's the difference? This is a 0. How would I make this a 0? We would need a 0 above and below any 1. Okay? So if I multiply row 2 by -3 and add it to row 1, we get 1, 0, what's our solution?
X is -1.
And so our solution is -1, 3. When I have you do these by hand, row echelon form will be enough. If you want to take it to reduced row echelon form, that is up to you. Okay? Now this one, it looks bad, right? No? Okay. Get out your calculators.
Oh, we don't need those.
FYI, there will be a non-calculator and a calculator portion with quizzes and tests in this chapter. So you need to know how to do both. Okay? We are going to be solving the following system. Okay? So first of all, you need to find the matrix menu. It's when you press second and then the X to the -1 button. It should say matrix right above it.
What do you do?
Second, and then where the X to the -1 is, that's your matrix menu.
Matrix.
Now, we are going to edit our matrix because we want to enter in our augmented matrix. Go to menu. Okay, is everybody editing a matrix?
Yep.
Okay. So pick like matrix A to edit. Okay? Yep. The first thing you need to do is input the order. What's going to be the order of our augmented matrix? 3 by 4. 3 columns, 3 rows by 4 columns. Okay. Now you need to input your values. So 3, -2, 1, 15. And just keep going. Hit 3, enter, -2, enter, -1, enter, and it'll go right to the next space. Yes. Okay. Now, right now, there's no dots separating out between where your equal sign is. Okay. We're going to tell our calculator that it's an augmented matrix, and so it's going to assume it's augmented when we tell it. Okay.
I put in -X. No, you just put in everything.
Remember, our matrix just has numbers.
Oh. So what do we do?
-1. So the second row, -1, 1, 2, -6.
Oh.
Hit enter. Actually, you know what? I have a calculator, don't I?
Hey, it's in the way though.
Okay, so matrix, and we're going to edit matrix A. It's a 3 by 4.
Oh, and then you just plug in.
Mm-hmm.
How do you clear a matrix once it's in there? Because I accidentally made one of that.
You can't really clear it out necessarily.
You gotta replace the
You can replace it with a different matrix later. Okay? Now, once you have things entered, it will save it. All right, so once you've entered your matrix, just say second quit. What? Quit. Yep. It's automatically saved. You don't have to press a save. It just saves it. Okay? Is everyone ready?
Yep.
Is anybody not ready?
Okay, I got your
Second quit. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how to get these into row echelon and reduced row echelon form. So, here's our calculator. If we go back to our matrix menu, everything we do with our matrix is going to be in our matrix menu. Makes sense, right? All right, we're going to go, when we want to calculate something, we're going to arrow over to math. Okay, and we can go down. Here is REF, means row echelon form. So if we choose that and then call up our matrix, we put it in matrix what? A. So we have to call up our matrix. Row echelon form, second matrix, and I want matrix A.
Whoa! This is fun. Wait, we did it.
You just go to mat, or sorry, second matrix, and just select A. Just hit enter.
Actually, it's fine.
Yeah.
I did all of mine. So that R, that is reduced to
Okay. When you pull up your matrix menu, this is the list of matrices that you can call up to do operations with. When you go to edit, that's where you change your matrices. Okay? Now, if we're going to use our calculator, we might as well do reduce row echelon form so we don't have to do all the work. Okay? So, if we go to math and we go down to our REF, reduced row echelon form, and call up our matrix A,
Bam.
there it is.
By the way, reduced row echelon form is also
Oh, I just thought it was a little key when you pushed next. Alpha B does not bring up. Oh, if you're doing I got you.
you know it's like a
Boom!
Okay. So here, our solution is 5, -1, 2. Done. Okay? If you're using your calculator, do reduce row echelon form. Now, if you're, like when we did row echelon form, okay, there was more to the matrix that we could see. Just arrow over and you can see it. All right? Do not ever write 0.33333333 on your paper. What is that?
1/3.
1/3. What is this? 0.66666666.
Negative
Negative 2/3.
All right. Any questions? Did you find it in your calculator?
No.
Not yet. Okay. Because reduced row echelon form only applies to an augmented matrix.
Where's that all wasn't?